Myself, Akanksha Verma of Group 1932 LA1 is going to speak on the topic meninges of the brain and its complication. Brain. It is one of the largest organ in the body and coordinate most body activities. Meninges of the brain. The brain and the spinal cord is surrounded by the three layers of the membrane called meninges: dura mater, arachnoid mater, and pia mater. Dura mater. It is the thick, tough outer covering of the brain. It is bilaminar membrane, include outer periosteal layer and inner meningeal layer. Arachnoid matter. It is the thin middle membrane, forms a loose brain covering over the surface of the cerebrum, avascular membrane. Pia mater. It is located underneath the subarachnoid space. It is thin, delicate membrane and tightly adhered to the surface of the brain. Extradural space is a space between the periosteal layer of dura mater and skull. Subdural space is a space situated between the dura mater and the arachnoid mater. And subarachnoid space is also known as leptomeningeal space and is between arachnoid mater and pia mater. Now let's talk about complication. Extradural hematoma. It occurs when the blood accumulates between the skull and the dura mater and can be due to the trauma or head injury due to the car accident. Causes. It is caused from the linear contact force between the clavarium that causes separation of the periosteal layer from the bone and disruption of the interposed vessel due to the shear stress. Diagnosis include CT scan, MRI, infrared spectroscopy, cervical spine evaluation, or angiography. Treatment. Mannitol can be used to reverse the brain swelling and the intracranial pressure, craniotomy, burr hole treatment, and decompressive craniectomy. Second, subdural hematoma is a form of traumatic brain injury in which blood gathers between the inner layer of the dura mater and the arachnoid mater of the meninges. Cause. It usually results from the ruptured vessel, that is bridging veins. Diagnosis may include CT scan and MRI scan or blood test to check the blood count. Treatment. May prescribe anti-seizure medication to prevent the seizure, burr hole refanation, craniotomy, and twist drill craniostomy. Now let's discuss about procedure. Craniotomy. Craniotomy is the most common choice. It is a surgical removal of a part of the bone from the skull to expose the brain. The first step is the anesthesia and monitor to the vitals. The surgeon will make incision mostly behind the hairline and burrow the hole with the medical drill. Special tools are used to remove the section of the bone called bone flap, which is temporarily removed. Blood is suctioned out and the bone flaps are placed back and secured with the screws and the plates. Burr hole refanation. It is the main treatment of the subdural hematomas that develops a few days or weeks after a minor head injuries. During the procedure, the hair will be trimmed in the area of scalp and the numbing medicine is injected into the scalp. One or more holes are drilled in the skull with the help of the medical drill and a flexible rubber tube is inserted to drain the hematoma. Sometimes the tube may be left in the place for few days afterwards to drain away any blood and reduce chances of hematoma. Decompressive craniectomy. The decompressive craniectomy is a brain surgery that removes a portion of the skull when the brain swells. The surgery is performed under the general anesthesia. It begins with the curl in the scalp, peels back the skin and tissue underneath and reveals the skull. Once the bone is removed, they will stop the bleeding before closing the wound stitches. The bone taken from the skull is usually stored in the freezer and is placed when the individual recovers. Removing a portion of skull can reduce the risk of severe brain injury as body natural healing process is to swell and skull can restrict the swelling. Subarachnoid hemorrhage. Subarachnoid hemorrhage is the bleeding into the subarachnoid space within the intracranial vault. Common location: anterior and posterior communicating artery and middle cerebral artery. Diagnosis may include CT scan, lumbar puncture, MRI of head, cerebral angiography. Treatment may include clipping, vessel bypass, endovascular coiling, stenting, or flow diversion. Now let's discuss about the clipping. The goal of clipping is to isolate an aneurysm from the normal circulation without the blocking of any perforating arteries nearby. Under general anesthesia, opening is made in the skull. The brain is gently retracted to locate the aneurysm. A small clip is placed across the base or neck of the aneurysm to block the normal blood flow from entering. Clips are made of titanium and remain on the artery permanently. Example: sacral aneurysm are easiest to place a clip. Endovascular coiling. It is the most recent treatment of the brain aneurysm. It is the minimum invasive technique, which means incision in the skull is not required to treat. It blocks the blood flow into an aneurysm. It is also called endovascular embolization. For endovascular coiling, a long, thin tube cataract is put into the groin artery. The provider moves the cataract into the affected brain artery. When the microcataract has reached the aneurysm and has been inserted into the aneurysm, an electric current is used to separate the coil from the cataract. The coil seals off the opening of the aneurysm and coils left in the place permanently in the aneurysm. The coil used in this procedure are made of soft platinum metal and are shaped like a spring. Fluoroscopy can be used to guide the cataract to the aneurysm location in the brain. Next, vessel bypass. Artery occlusion and bypass are two-part procedure combining open microsurgery and endovascular coiling. The purpose is to void the entire diseased portion of the blood vessel and bypass the blood flow to the specific location in the brain. First, the bypass is an open microsurgical technique performed to use blood vessel as conduct blood flow from one part of the brain to the another. The donor vessel is detached from one end of its normal location and rerouted into the brain beyond the aneurysm. The donor vessel reconnected to the parent vessel to ensure the blood flow into that part of the brain. After the blood vessel has been bypassed, the aneurysm is closed with the technique endovascular coiling. Example: most common bypass STA-MCA, superficial temporal artery is donor and middle cerebral artery is the recipient. Stenting or flow diversion. Flow diversion is an endovascular technique where instead of placing a device inside the aneurysm sac, the device is placed in the parent blood cell to divert blood flow away from aneurysm. It may be performed to treat the unruptured brain aneurysm. It removes need to enter the aneurysm, which can be dangerous. During this procedure, a microcataract is navigated past the aneurysm without entering it. Then immobilization device is deployed across the neck of the aneurysm in the parent blood cells. Immediately, the blood flow in the aneurysm is reduced and complete closure occurs between 6 weeks to 6 months after the procedure. Conclusion: the principal techniques used in subdural hematomas are craniotomy, burr-hole trephination. Mortality rate is 36 to 79% and favorable outcome rate 14 to 40%. Epidural hematoma, burr-hole trephination is done in emergency case. Endovascular coiling is most recent among the other procedure with sudden death of 12% and reported 30-day mortality is as high as 45%. Thank you.